Hi, hello, hope you're in fine voice. Had a question from Steve. He contacted me via WhatsApp. I'll need my specs for this. And Steve says, "Hi Gary, have you ever done a YouTube video on microphone technique? I think you could be invaluable to me if you did." And I responded saying something like, I've skirted around the subject, but never actually delved into it in any sort of depth, really. I think your first rule of thumb is your rule of thumb. So that's thumb and little finger, and that's kind of roughly the distance you start. So if I just bring another mic here, so that's the sort of distance that you want, that kind of thing. That's a good starting point, that length away from the microphone capsule itself. Now, obviously, people have got big hands, have got small hands, all shapes and sizes, and your voice as well is going to be louder or softer or whatever. Some people have got very loud voices, some people have got very soft voices, and so on. And it depends what you're doing too. But it is a rule of thumb. But it's a great place to start. Now, you can then move yourself in and out according to the sound. The other thing to remember with microphone technique is proximity, what we call the proximity effect. So if you get very close to the mic, I'll use this one, like this, it really brings out the warmth and the bassier notes of your voice. So as you're getting closer, that's what happens. So if you want to add some bass and some richness to your voice, the technique is get nice and close to the microphone. But there's a downside, and that is that it will bring out the lower notes, sometimes too much, so you get a kind of boom, 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 boominess to your voice. Also, it will pick up a lot of your mouth noises, so clicks and dryness and so on, little clicks, sounds. And of course the pops. The pops will increase. You should be using one of these, which is a pop shield. Make sure you know how to use your pop shield properly. I've got a video on that. And that will help reduce the pops. But of course, as you're getting closer, this will happen. It's a downside of proximity as you get closer. So what you can do is move slightly further back. And that will, if you're going further back, so even further back maybe than your rule of thumb, if you're going slightly further back, you will perhaps go off axis. And that means you're going off mic. But there is a point at which you're still on mic, but it will pick up the higher notes in your voice. So the higher frequencies, the treble, if you like. And sometimes the higher mid-range tones in your voice as well. So rule of thumb is kind of the rule of thumb. And also in terms of proximity, closer will make your voice bassier, further back will bring out the higher notes and crisp up your voice much more. But of course, the problem is you can go off mic very quickly, so you can swing off mic. Really, if I go back too far here, you can hear I'm off mic, basically. I sound like I'm in the distance as opposed to here, where I sound nice and close to you. So it's really kind of trial and error and see what works with your voice, but kind of bear these techniques in mind. Now, the other thing is that if you want to minimize pops and mouth noises and clicks and breaths and so on, then you can sort of cheat the way you talk into the mic. So instead of getting really close and sort of full onto the mic there, what you can do is just talk very slightly over the top. Can you just see that there? So I'm talking very slightly over the top. It's not down here, but it's just kind of under my mouth there. So you're not getting the direct sound of the voice. So it's not off mic, but it's kind of minimizing mouth noises but maximizing sound. And the other way to do it is to just cheat the way you talk into the mic. So you could go slightly to the left or slightly to the right. Again, you've got to be careful you don't go off mic. That's very easy to do. You can go off axis pretty quickly, actually. So be aware of that and decide what's your range, what works best for you and your voice. And doing that will minimize mouth noises, it will minimize pops and clicks and so on. And that's another technique to think about. But again, it's a matter of degree. It's very easy to swing off mic and sound distant, and you lose that resonance and you lose that presence as well. Okay, so just a quick gallop through mic techniques, and the best advice I can give you is experiment with your microphone and your voice, because every microphone is slightly different, and of course voices are very different too. So if you just try and have a go close to the mic, come further back, go slightly off mic, bring the mic down here, and so on, and just see what it sounds like. So that when you're recording at home, you get a really good picture of what you sound like and what's best for your voice. So if the client says, I want a bit more bass on it, of course you can add it in post-production, but if you think, well, I'll just get slightly closer to the mic, that'll really help. Or if they say, I want a nice crisp, clean sound, maybe go slightly further back from the mic, maybe even talk slightly over the top of the mic as well. But again, matter of degree, and it all depends on you, your voice, and your microphone as well. All right, I hope that's helpful, and look after your voice, keep practicing, and see you next time.